That's bullshit. There ain't no way. I'm on YouTube.
Well, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's got land and all the houses.
It doesn't matter what it appraised for. What matters is, yeah, and I mean, people may not do that right now. They've got somebody that's a cash buyer that will they come up a little bit, or is that as high as they go? Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Grind. Happy Thursday. It is July the 28th. Today's show topic, a lot of things going on around here, and we're going to talk about a recession. But as always, we start the Morning Grind with 60 seconds of gratitude. Who would like to speak up and say what they're thankful for this morning?
I'm thankful last night I got to go to MMA camp.
How did he do at MMA camp?
It was a really tough class. I mean, it wasn't a tough class.
Does he have potential? Could you see him?
Last night was all clinch, so you really
I'm
didn't
going
know
to.
no punches.
It sounds like you don't want to give him any kind of credit or hope.
I didn't really.
But if you had to bet right now, would you say he's got potential?
He's gonna be all right, yeah.
Could he? How far do you want to take this, Josh?
My goal is to have an MMA fight.
Your goal. Would you like to come in like Travis? Travis won that fight and he acted like he's Conor McGregor. How many people were there? Like 15? He's walking around now. Everywhere I look, his damn profile picture is him like he was in Vegas. Congratulations. Who would win? Would y'all be in the same weight class? Would you? How much do you weigh?
Right now, 155, so I'll fight at 145.
Yeah.
What would you fight at?
I would try to fight at 135, but I could fight 145.
Damn, what would happen if we had an inner office scrap? The office would be divided. Whose side would I be on? All right, 60 seconds of gratitude. Josh spoke up. Why didn't you speak up, Cam?
I am thankful for, I think I said this the other day, but I've really started to become more structured with my day.
If everybody could take on this one thing, this time blocking identity about the next 15 minutes, I got to get this done. So I'd like to see you do that.
Super helpful.
It is very helpful.
Timer.
Get the timer out. Amanda, thank you for getting on here. Cousin Noah, good to see you. Who else is on here? If you're on here, do me a favor, like, comment, and share the stream. We got a lot of stuff going on around here today. Drew is on here. This is a really, really sad anniversary for Drew and my cousin Tammy. 1 year ago today, unexpectedly, they lost John Case. Did you know John? You did, didn't you? A lot of you may not have been around, but 1 year ago, tragically out of nowhere, he was gone just like that. And this happened to my stepdad. I don't know, it's been 4 or 5 years now. I can't remember, but I'm talking about like a gut punch that you've never felt is whenever you lose somebody unexpectedly. So, been thinking about my cousin a lot this morning, Andrew. So, that's a sad note. Today is also Hayden's birthday. Hayden is now 27 years old. It's about time for the kid to grow up. Do you feel like you're more grown than Hayden? Cecilia, thank you for getting on here, friend.
Yep.
Do you feel more mature than Hayden?
I mean, he has more experience in life than I do.
If you're on here, make a big comment saying happy birthday to Hayden McKee. Moving on to the show, we're going to have lunch for him today. Did y'all know that? What are we having? Toots! Good food and fun. Who's on 75 Hard? I don't know if you can participate. You can eat that shit you got over there. Have a kid, buddy. That's what you need. He's got a dog in there. Hey, Chelsea, thank you for getting on here. Mickey Howell, what's up? Go Tigers. If you follow financial news today, 7:30 Central Standard Time, the stats were released. The findings were released. We are now officially in a recession, which I've been telling that to you guys. How long have you heard me say this? About a month. Mimi's on here. Happy birthday to baby boy. Van, how long have I been saying we're in a recession?
Oh gosh, several months.
Several months. Things just feel different in recession. So we're going to talk a little bit about this. This does not mean this. I'm going to help you make sense of what this really looks like. But I can tell we're in a recession. Whenever one time we put a house on the market that normally would sell that day, and it didn't. It was just like it took a little bit longer for it to sell, but it still sold and it's over full price. But you can just tell it felt different. Now I'm looking at, me and Brittany own an Airbnb in Nashville, and I'm looking at how it is this year versus how it was last year. We're not getting quite as much money per booking this year, and they're not as far out. Remy, hello. When are you going to be in here? The bookings aren't extended out in Nashville on our property. Last year, if you would have looked on there, like Van forwards me anytime I get an email that it's booked. I don't see them as often, so I'll go in there and I'll bitch at Van like, dude, where's the emails? And he's like, you ain't got no emails. And I'm like, damn. So then I go and I look on the calendar and it's like about a month out. Last year at this time, it was like several months booked out. So me and my wife love to go to Florida. Right now, if you look, you can get to Florida a lot cheaper. I get emails from the property managers down there like, hey, we'll give you 20% off to come down here. Those are signs of a recession. So what exactly does a recession mean? I told you guys this the other day, and how could this be good news if you're in the real estate market? Jish, what is a recession?
2 consecutive quarters with a dip.
Does that make sense what he's saying to you? Do you understand what like a lot of people, if you were to ask them what does a recession mean, they just think, man, it's going to shit. Going to
We're
shit.
screwed.
Okay, so the second quarter dipped 0.9%. So like what if, like we have recessions in our life all the time. So like Josh, have you ever had a good quarter and then the next quarter your sales and your money wasn't quite as good?
Yeah.
Well, that's what's happened overall with our country. It just means we're off a little bit. If you're all 0.9%, let's call it 1%. For me, this company, well, I'm predicting overall it'll do we're about a $3 million company is where we are. What is 1% of 3%? 1% of 3 million. How much?
30 grand.
Damn. When did you get so I should anticipate it could be 30 grand. It could be about a 30 grand pullback. Out of 3 million, how much of a difference is that going to hit me with? It's going to hit a little bit.
It's not going to be.
I'm going to ask some of y'all to work for free, but
1 month of marketing, ain't it?
well, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you do feel it a little bit. But what if like, you know, there's 350 million, nearly 400 million people in this company. Damn, wouldn't that be nice? If we're all declining a little bit like that. So here's what happens. It's the confidence. I feel like it's really too late to make wholesale changes. The smart people were doing these things about a year ago, getting themselves in a position to where they could fade something. So like people might, like I wouldn't go out and unload things at discounts. You know, it's too late to do that. So what I would do now is I would back myself into a corner and say, I'm here to fucking fight. That's the mentality you got to have right now to get through this. How long is it going to last? I don't know how long it's going to last. But the recession really, I could feel it early in the spring. The Fed, their job is to control inflation. So like, how much are these phones? Well, what if they got up to $2,000? It wouldn't make. That's what inflation does. What if this drink I think it was $3 this morning. What if it was $6? See, you gotta have these. You've got to fight inflation and bring things back to normal, or things get so expensive, our economy will just stop. So recession. Good morning, Belinda. How are you doing? Even though we're in a recession, recession's probably good for mortgages, though. Okay, because looking into the future, there was a time this year where I thought, man, this inflation and this economy is going so hard. They're going to keep raising up rates. There's no end in sight of this inflation. And it was driving rates up. They went from like 4 to 6, like in a day it felt like. That really throttled things. Okay, well now the outlook I think is a little bit different. Maybe rates aren't going to go as high as we thought because inflation is going to come down now because the country's starting to slow down. That will naturally bring down the inflation. But I told you guys, I think we're going to have a rough summer of news. The behavior already started back in March, April, May. I could feel it. I was trying to.
You don't know when you feel like it's going to slow down?
One rate hike is about 6 to 9 months out before you start to feel it. But I think we were already slowing down. The Fed really usually messes these things up because I don't think any of them were like former business owners. They were scholars at a school, a university, maybe fancy degrees from Harvard. They don't have the instinct and awareness to understand what's going on. So what they're going to do is if we were playing golf, Josh, and we're on the green, they're going to do what you did the other day, and then you're going to continue to over-putt the green. They're putting and they fly past the hole. Then they keep correcting it. Eventually, the market kind of works itself out. But it's good news if you're looking to buy a house right now. This is going to be one of the best times. People think real estate has been great. Over the last 2 years, it's been great for sellers. It's been great for builders. It's been great for developers. But the other people have not gotten to participate, the actual people that are trying to buy. It's been so out of balance. If you wanted to buy a house, you had to go, you had no room, you had no way to negotiate anything. Terms, time, nothing. As the market, it's actually going to become a great time for both people now because there's still not enough inventory in to drive prices down. So sellers, they're really worried about their price, but there's going to be more options out there. And I think rates are going to kind of trickle down a little bit. Over the summer, they may not, but over the next let's say from 3 months to the next year, I think it's going to improve a little bit. My opinion, because I think rates are going to follow the inflation trends. Inflation is going to probably peak this summer. And I'm thinking by the fall and next year, it's going to start to come down a little bit. And rates will follow that. The long-term rates are going to follow that. So we're actually entering into a time where this recession is going to help everybody in the business. But what sucks is the fear moving into it. Because when you think of a recession and you think of how the media is going to blow this out, because they don't care about reporting accurate information. They care about getting eyeballs. It's like the news today is clickbait. What's going on over there?
Dog stinks.
She farted.
Oh, Josh. Your dog can't come here ever again. But the news is not there to inform you. They're there to get you to watch. That's what they care about. And they're going to say things to get your attention. They're going to say things to scare you. And most people, whenever they hear this information, they'll just go into they'll become paralyzed. They can't move forward. They can't do anything because their mind is telling them it's a mistake. Right now, we're considering selling our home. We're toying with this idea. Excuse me, it's the Monster Energy drink that I paid $10 for this morning. But the news will trick you. The best time, I believe, to buy is when there's a lot of uncertainty, but it takes the most courage to move forward in these situations. So what we're going to do, like our advertising, what is our marketing total budget a month, Van?
About 26, 25, 26.
Van don't know how to sell stuff. What would you have said?
$27,000.
What would you have said?
30,000.
I'd have said 30. Thanks, Van. Ruining my day. We're not going to take that budget back. We're going to continue to expand. A lot of people just won't have the courage. This is the best time to take market share. Like you're in a fight right now. You're not just in a fight against other real estate agents. You're in a fight. This man right here, his money may not go to buy a house. Maybe he's going to save up, talking about buying a house, and he goes out and buys a car. You're fighting for everything else they could be buying. Von Gratton, shut us down. And look, here's what I tell you. I would get ready to fight. Josh is so prepared to get ready for a fight. He joined an MMA club last night. Fight Club. Shut it down, Von Gratton.